I guess just walk us through coming to Nevada, making this the final stop of your college career. I guess what appealed to you about this opportunity?
Honestly, it was the coaches. I feel like being my third school and coming from a place where coaches not really like big believer in you, it's not a good look. So if the coach is behind you, I feel like it's definitely push you to reach your potential.
Did you know any of the coaches on the staff, or did they just look at some of your film and reach out? And I guess what was that impression when you got that call, not knowing much about Nevada?
Originally, when I first got the call, I'm like, Nevada, I ain't knowing about it. So I honestly wasn't really looking like paying any mind. But talking to the coaches more is definitely, they showed like their true colors and gave me a chance.
Was last year tough for you? I mean, you played a lot at your previous school, and you go to Indiana that had a lot of success, but you weren't on the field as much. I guess so walk us through just your emotions of last season.
That was definitely a down time in my life for sure. But I was still proud of the boys there. All my boys in Indiana, some good people. The strength staff over there too, great guys. So I was happy for that experience as well.
What are you hoping to bring this linebacker group?
Experience and playmaking ability, honestly, for sure. Because being year 6, so pretty old, I'm pretty experienced out there. So I feel like I could bring a lot to the defense.
Seems like all 5 of you guys are quality players and maybe could start this year. I guess what do you think is going to separate you and get you one of those 2 roles?
They just put a new package for me, so I don't want to say too much about it right now, but they're going to get us all on the field, so it should be good, man. It should be good.
So what does that feel like? Maybe last year the staff didn't believe in you and this staff doing stuff to try
that's just like I said. So when coaches believe in you, they start thinking other packages and how they can get you on the field and use your full potential and your versatility.
What do you see as your strengths? What have you established as things in your game that you're strong at?
I feel like I'm pretty fast, so I like to run. So like being in space, playmaking ability, things of that nature.
What's been the hardest part about just coming to a new school and trying to learn the playbook and trying to get acclimated?
Probably the distance, coming from Philly. So it's like my family, I can call them, but I don't know, like they're so far away. But besides that, all the playbook, like the coaches and players, everything, that's purpose move for me.
So going back home, pretty close to home for the season opener against Penn State, what would that be like to play in that stadium?
Amazing, man. I got a lot of family coming out to see me, God willingly, so that should be good.
You grow up a fan of theirs or someone else?
Ohio State, actually.
Oh,
really? I don't know if I can say that, but yeah, Ohio State growing up, but okay. For sure, definitely going to be a big-time experience.
Just take us through your progression when you were at UMass and how you developed over those years to get to the point where you were starting and playing really well.
UMass, I came in playing early, honestly. I was playing outside backer, and then 2021, 2022, they moved me in the inside a little bit. And in 2023, they moved me to safety. So I moved around a lot, but once I got to the hybrid safety role, I finally flourished and got the chance to transfer up to Indiana for 2024.
What do you want to get out of this last year at college?
I want to win, man. I want to win as a team for sure. Individually, I'm trying to get to the next level, play NFL.
Take us inside the linebacker room and just kind of, how you guys get along while also still competing for starting jobs together.
Sometimes I feel like that's a sensitive topic, but with if you're comfortable with the person, it shouldn't be no disagreement or what's what I'm looking for. Hostility, yeah, because you all pushing each other to be better. So I feel like that part's been good, and the way Coach Nico been giving us reps, we get reps with different guys, so it's not just me going with someone each time. I get to go with another guy or a different person, so that's good too.
What were some of the other schools you were looking at when you hit the portal?
Team down south, a couple other G5s as well.
Wow, so you even know to call them the team down south.
Yeah, team down south for sure.
Was Coach Nico the one who was reaching out to you and the one that really swung you over this?
Honestly, no, it was Coach Tevis Bartlett. He reached out to me first and foremost and talked to my family and all that, and really got me out here. Cause like I said, I wasn't even thinking about coming out here when they reached out, honestly.
Obviously, you guys went up to Lake Tahoe after the end of fall camp. Being so far away home, but being in a beautiful place like Lake Tahoe, what was that experience like for you?
Honestly, that was my first time out there, and it was beautiful, man. I was taking a bunch of pictures and stuff, so that was definitely a great experience. I'll be back.
I guess big picture, what can you say about just the culture of this group and what you guys are trying to improve this year?
As a defense or?
In general, the whole team.
As a team, from what I heard last year, was a lot of undisciplined players. So from my perspective, I feel like everybody just buying in and trusting the coaches and just honing in on like what your job is, holding down your job, like do your 111th. That's the best way I could put it for you.
What can you say about obviously all the coaches, but Coach Choate's leadership and how that trickles down to everybody?
Coach Choate, one of a kind, man. Even though he oversees everybody, he could still like come talk to the backers or come talk to the DNs or things of that nature too as well, and give his input because he's been around the game so long.
Chris touched on it, but I mean, had you spent much time in the West Coast before? How do you like live it out here?
Yeah, first time out here, man. First time. In Reno especially, it's like a chill city compared to like Philadelphia. It's a lot going on. And even, it reminds me like a UMass a little bit, Amherst, Massachusetts. Very calm little city. So it's good.
For folks who are starting to make their fall plans, what do you want them to know about this team and why they should invest in you guys this year?
I feel like we got a lot of new players that's really hungry, especially coaches as well too. The coaches as well. They coming off a bad season and they're not used to win. They're not used to losing, so they definitely want to turn that season around for sure.
In general, how would you describe your defense and what it'll look like on a play-in and play-out basis?
Run to the ball. We're gonna run to the ball for sure. I feel like 11 hats to the ball. That's a great defense for sure. Like all the technique stuff, you can fix that up. But effort, like as we talk about always, like effort is the price of admission. Like most definitely.
Coach Ion, quite a legendary player himself. How much do you know about his history and how's it been having him at the top?
100%. Him and Coach JT both played at Montana State. So that's another reason why I say the trust thing, because like they did it before. Same with Coach Nico. Like Coach Nico accomplished everything I want to accomplish with this football career stuff. So how could I not listen to what they got to say and things they're telling me and whatnot?
I think of Philly, I think more of basketball. How'd you get into football as your primary sport?
I don't know. I've been playing since I was 4. So I played with my uncle. He played when he was younger in my family. It's just a football thing.
Where's your speed come from,
man? Genetics, man. I don't know. My dad pretty fast.
Okay.
My aunt ran track at Ohio State, so.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's some genetics thing, man. I don't know.
There you go. Are they going to be able to make it out to any games this year?
For sure.
In Reno, or?
For sure. Definitely. Because I got some siblings, younger siblings too. They're going to bring them out here for sure. So it should be good.
How far west had you been before coming out to Reno? Like even for a game, maybe?
Last year, UCLA, when I was in Indiana, that was the first time I ever been on West Coast. So it was definitely a different vibe, different people, different weather, of course.
That team obviously overachieved what a lot of people thought going into the season. That's what you guys are trying to do this year. Are there any lessons you could take from last year's Hoosiers that maybe you can impart to the guys here?
Like the strength staff. Like I feel like you really hone in and take care of your body and try your best to just every day just keep going. Like it's eventually going to pay off. And going into the summer, Indiana's looked at as the last rank of Big Ten. Then you see what they did, and then we weren't even thinking about it. Like, so I feel like that's what's going on here. Like they keep doubting us and whatnot. Yeah, we're not thinking about it. Just keep working, keep your head down.
Can you break down the tats for me real quick?
The tats, man. I got a lot, man. This one from my family. A little quote me, my buddy got a couple here. But a verse, Bible verse right there. First one ever, man. Don't knock this one. First one ever. And I got one on my neck, man. Sadly, my parents don't really like that one. I got one on my neck.
Tell us about the humble beast.
Humble beast. I feel like it was like my inner ego, honestly, because like on the field, I'm a quiet guy sometimes. Like if I don't really know you or not, but on the field, like, I don't know. I turn into a different person, get to talking, and like I can't even recite some of the stuff I be saying because I really don't remember. I really honestly don't. So yeah, that's probably what that's all about.
So you didn't get to be here in the spring. I guess what's the adjustment been just getting here in the fall and trying to play catch up a little bit?
Yeah, I had to get up to speed pretty fast with the playbook, but luckily I had some experience. I played 2 years started, so football it's pretty much the same game. The schemes are going to change, but just the experience that I had I was able to kind of pick it up fast, and I think they appreciate that too. Helping the younger guys as well. So
when did you get here?
I got here June 4th.
Okay.
Was my first day. Yep.
And what's been your impression on just the team and the city?
Yeah.
What you guys are trying to get done this year?
Yeah, I enjoy it, man. Coming from New York, it's big change of pace. Slowing down a little bit. I was looking forward to when I came here, so that was great. I love the guys on the team. They're really cool. Something that you notice, playing for different programs is like, football's, locker rooms are pretty much the same. Like, you guys, you play for the guy next to you, you build these bonds, and, that's kind of the best part of it. So it was good to, get to know these guys a little bit better over the summertime when we weren't, doing football all the time. But now that we're getting in, games coming up, it's good that we have that glue together.
Now at the FBS level, is that something that you wanted to do when you got out of high school? Were there opportunities at that level?
Yeah.
But you didn't want to turn down an IB?
Yeah, no, I wanted to play FBS. That was my main goal. I was a COVID recruit, so my senior year I didn't play. In Seattle, we didn't play until the spring, so I didn't have that senior year of film to kind of, leverage recruiting, which was, I used to think that sucked, but, really it was a blessing that I was able to kind of go to Columbia, I think, looking back at it in hindsight. But I always knew in the back of my head I wanted to play FBS, and I didn't play my freshman year at Columbia, so I knew at the back end I'd have one more year. So that was my goal when I left.
Just getting into practice, do you see any difference in terms of the skill level and what you're going to have to do to be successful?
Yeah, guys are a little more physical, a little faster, but like I kind of said at the beginning, football is the same game, and my biggest strength has always been my mental game, so, me being able to kind of dissect it in the film room, it helps me at this level just as much as it helped me at FCS. So, but yeah, guys are definitely a little stronger, a little faster.
And All-American last year, I guess, what unlocked that level of play for you?
I had great coaches, I had great teammates, but really I was hungry. I like I said, I didn't play my freshman year. I grinded my sophomore year. Didn't really play that much, but once I got my opportunity, I knew that I had to take advantage of it. And like I said, I'm a big mental player, so me being in the film room, me getting extra reps, getting extra work after practice, like that was what took me over the edge. But I couldn't have done it without my teammates as well.
How do you differentiate yourself in this battle for starting jobs at cornerback?
Yeah, I think the mental part is a big piece of it. I try to be a leader on and off the field. Lead by example. So when I'm in the film room, I'm always asking questions. I know that another guy probably has the same question as me, but is kind of scared to ask. So I'm gonna ask that question. I'm gonna get it straightened out. And then on the field, like I said, I'm trying to be the best example I can. Do things the right way, run to the ball, tag off, be in good position. But I'm just trying to control what I can control. Yeah.
In terms of the mental, did you ask for the playbook before you even got out here, knowing that you were going to be here in the spring, or how did that? You got to count me before we get to that.
I would have asked, but I actually was lucky. I got one of the coaches was able to kind of spend some time with me in the spring, getting me up to speed with the playbook while I was back at Columbia. So no really need to ask. Actually, they were on top of it, but it was definitely in my mind.
What were you studying there, and I guess how proud are you that you got an Ivy League degree?
Yeah, I studied economics, and I'm very proud, very, very proud. It was difficult, will not say it was easy, but I just like everything else is work, and just focus. I think the hardest part of it was balancing both of them at the same time, but I think that skill will help me as I move on in life.
So far away from home, how did they hear about you, and how did you guys get connected and make that leap?
Dude, it was crazy. So I posted, I remember this clearly, I posted a workout on Twitter I was doing with one of my big bros. He went to UW and went to Miami. He's actually hopefully trying to battle for a spot in training camp with the Vikings right now. His name's Mishael Powell. But I posted a workout with him, I remember, and one of the coaches, Coach Dre Murphy, he kind of DM'd me on Twitter and just said he liked what I saw, if I wanted to, kind of have a conversation with him, and I did. I, wasn't really hip to the Ivy League at that point. I knew about it. I think one of the first coaches that talked to me was Harvard, but I didn't really know about Columbia that much. But, when I was thinking about it, I knew I wanted to pursue a higher education and play Division I football. So ultimately, that was the best decision for me.
Does economics background help you on the field at all?
I'd like to think so in some ways, but I think, like I said, I think it was the balancing the economics, doing the economics on the side, and then having to, still mentally lock in and play football. That was probably the biggest thing, the biggest crossover there.
Were there some other schools that you were deciding between, and then what made you land on Nevada?
When I left the portal, when I was in the portal, there was, but it was pretty clear that Nevada was probably the best decision for me, out the jump. I had my family had a prior relationship with the coaching staff because my younger brother was getting recruited here for a little bit. So, I had that, and I wanted to be close to home, and, it was like Mountain West football is good football, and, I wanted to play here.
What have you kind of learned about the culture of this program and what you guys are trying to achieve in the short time you've been here?
Yeah. I just think we're hungry here. Like, the guys that were here last year, like, they know that pain of, how that season went. I have a similar experience when I was at Columbia. We were not very good, when I was early out, but it was the culture that brought us out of that slump. So, that's what we've been really pitching here, in the summertime is, building that camaraderie, building, the culture, older guys bringing along the younger guys, stuff of that nature. So I think that is really what's going to help us win games this year. More so than, any talent we have, it's going to be, how much of a bond we have with each other.
I'm sure that's kind of the message you want the community to know. I mean, what would you want folks who are on the outside looking in and watching our coverage? What do you want them to know about this team and why they should invest in you guys?
Yeah, man. I mean, we come out, we're going to have fun every single day. And, we love each other. We love playing with each other. And, we love the community too. So, we want to win games for you guys as much as we want to win it for ourselves. So, there's no site that we'd want more than, full Mackey Stadium, all 6 home games. I've had 5 at Columbia. But, yeah, so, we're excited. I hope you guys are too.
How have you liked living out here? I know you guys got to spend some time in Lake Tahoe. Just what has Northern Nevada been like in your couple months?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Coming from Seattle, I don't think I've seen a drop of rain since I've been here, so that's been nice. Had to adjust to the mountain air a little bit when I first came. The conditioning was, I was breathing a little heavy, but I love it out here. It's beautiful. It reminds me a lot of California. I mean, it's right there, but it's not as humid as New York City either, so that's a plus. And I think it's a cool little town too. I think that people are pretty close together, and I'm enjoying it.
Back east for week 1, what are you looking forward to going into Happy Valley and just what you guys are trying to accomplish out there?
Yeah, man. I hope it's going to be a fun environment. I'm just going to tell the guys just don't let the lights get too bright. Like, we're just playing football just like we have. Since we've been, I've started in 3rd grade, most of the guys did. It's just going to be another game for us. Obviously, it's a big stadium, big atmosphere, but, embrace that, welcome that. Let it feel you and drive you. But ultimately, don't forget, everything, the techniques the basic techniques that we do and teach every single day. That's going to, give us success during the game.
Tell us about little bro. What's he up to now?
Yeah, he's at Arizona State. He's going into sophomore year. He plays DB as well. He's hungry. He was got to be a part of that big run they went on last year. So I got a free Peach Bowl ticket, which was nice. But yeah, he's loving it out there. He likes Dillingham. They got a good program out there too. So I'm happy for him.
I think Seattle. I think hoop. You got any hoop background? What's the scouting report? McDonald?
Honestly, not me. I wasn't the hooper. I ran track and I played 7-on-7. My brother was a little bit better at hoop than I was. I won't lie. But I got a couple good runs against Paulo Banchero. We were in the same class at O'Day. So that's the hoop prodigy in our class.
Just stay out of his way.
Yeah.
But 2 defensive backs, that's not the easiest position to play, I guess. Is there a family history in playing cornerback? Or?
Yeah, my dad played cornerback at the University of South Carolina. So it was kind of, we were put at cornerback the first day we stepped out on the field. Not really our choice, but, like I said, we embrace it. We like that kind of hard-nosed, tough mentality. But, yeah, it definitely runs in the family.
What does it take to be a good cornerback then?
I think you have to, first of all, have to have short-term memory. Whether you make a good play or a bad play, you got to move on to the next one. I think you have to be in tune with what the offense is doing. Like, you got to have just as much offense or knowledge of the defense the offense as you do with the defense. And I think you just got to have a kind of edge to you, right? Like, you have the hardest job on the field, so you have to embrace that and own it. Like, you get a touchdown scored on you, everybody sees you. You strap them up and they throw it the other way, nobody's looking at you. So, you gotta know that and own that.
He let you play running back or wide receiver at all, or just?
I played running back too. And then I played wide receiver in high school. But I played wide receiver in high school at a school that ran the I formation. So not very many opportunities for me there. So defense is always my calling card.
Very new look secondary. I guess tell us about the cornerbacks. I guess what you've enjoyed about this competition and these guys being your teammates.
Yeah, these guys are great. A lot of veterans on the team, or in the room. A lot of young guys, but a lot of veterans too. So it comes down to us to bring the young guys along, as I said earlier. But these guys are experienced, just like me. I think I come in with a good amount of experience. So do these guys. So it's good being in the film room. Like, I don't need to take control all the time because somebody else has a opinion or something that they want to talk about that is very important, and I wouldn't even thought of. So it's good to have all those minds in one room together, and I think being able to play with each other, it just gives us confidence, collectively that we can be successful.
Like you said, everyone's played a lot, but not together. What's going to be the key to gelling and making sure the unit is as strong as it can?
Yeah, I think it started in the summertime. Doing the extra, also just hanging out with each other, like man to man bonding. Talking not about football, and it's also doing the extra right now. Extra film, just communicating on and off the field, and ultimately you're gonna need to trust the guy next to you. Like you got to do your job and trust the guy next to you that he's gonna do his. And I think we have that trust at this point.
Sure, you're still going to school here, but not having as intensive of a academic side, is that going to be helpful as you go through this?
Very helpful, very helpful. I think my GPA was always a little bit worse during the season, so that'll be good. I got get a little break off class. I'm still taking classes, but like you said, not as rigorous. So that'll be good. Definitely mentally locked in a little bit more. I don't have to worry about that kind of thorn in the side.
Yeah, what are some of your other aspirations? I saw you've got community service in your background, and obviously you're much more than a football player. I'm sure you want to play as long as possible, but what are some of your other goals? Yeah,
I love football and sports so much that to be honest, I really want to get into scouting. I would love to be a scout in the NFL, or do player personnel in some place, maybe even college level. I used to think I wanted to be one of you guys, but I don't have quite the mouthpiece that you guys have, so I think the scouting side is right for me. Maybe coaching too, but I'm an economics major, went to Columbia, so I could do finance if I wanted to. I have that kind of in my back pocket, but I want to stay in sports, football. I feel like that's where I'm the most knowledgeable is in football. So I want to that's where I want my value to be shown.
Have you talked to the Wolf of Wall Street, Joe McFadden, about working on Wall Street?
I have. We had a long conversation. I think we came in the same weekend, so we talked about New York being in there. But yeah, his story is pretty cool too.